Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are going to be talking about the few events from Friday, April 30th through today, May 2nd. Really, you guys, this is going to be like a super short episode. There was hardly anything over the weekend, which was fine. So we are going to get started with the British royal family because there was nothing going on in Belgium. I do want to take a peek at the week ahead. This is something I want to start doing. There are days where I'm going to forget that I want to do this, believe me. And I don't know that I always will, but I like to take a quick peek to see if we have anything going on. So right now there's nothing scheduled for the Belgian royal family this week. I'm sure that will change. There will be pop-up events and things like that from here on out. But just as a start to when we're doing Monday morning podcasts, I want to let you know what's kind of coming up ahead, if we're going to have a busy week or a slow week, and also who knows what to actually anticipate because it changes every day. So with that, we are going to go ahead now and start talking about the British royal family. In the UK, there were a few events on Friday, although they weren't actually events. So we'll look at the court circular here in a second as well for Friday, as well as for the weekend if there is anything. So there weren't actually any events, but of course on Friday, Queen Elizabeth sent a message to the President of Israel, because if you haven't been paying attention to the news over the weekend, on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, there was a religious festival being held in Israel, and unfortunately, it turned into an unsafe condition, and when told to evacuate, it became a stampede, and many people have lost their lives after being, the victim of a stampede, and many, many more are injured. So Queen Elizabeth sent a message of condolence for that. And then also on Friday, Kensington Palace announced that they were on a social media strike in solidarity with football, if you're American, soccer fans everywhere. So I didn't do a lot of research into this. You all know I've kind of like fallen down a European football drain and can't seem to get out of it. So I chose not to research a ton about this. But in solidarity, Kensington Palace went on a strike for the weekend. So I think it's through till on Tuesday. There won't be any social media updates from Kensington Palace. That's not to say that things won't happen. We'll talk about this in just a second. But they're not happening on social media for Kensington Palace. So, for example, today, May 2nd, is Princess Charlotte's 6th birthday. And so we've all kind of gotten accustomed to new photos being released. And everywhere I saw was like, that's not happening. They're not going to release photos. They still released a photo. It just wasn't released via social media, which is where they have been shared. My expectation, and this is all, speculation for sure, is that on Tuesday, when the social media break is over, they'll post a secondary picture to mark her birthday. is my expectation. I could be wrong, but it's a very cute photo. I'll have it up, of course, online for you to check it all out. It's so cute. Apparently she's blonde now, which is adorable, and I can't handle it. So those were like the social media publicized events, and then I'm going to take a quick peek at the court circular, which I looked at the court circular when I was doing the monthly like engagement count totals for each royal family, but I already don't remember what Fridays said. But if you want to check those out, those are actually up on the website right now as well. So I just posted those yesterday. I posted them on the 1st. And I don't really have a ton of commentary about them. Like, they're there. I'm not super surprised by anything. Things are just kind of holding really steady for where we're at. So we're going to take a quick peek now at the court circular for the 30th, as well as if there happens to be one for Saturday and Sunday. I doubt it. It doesn't look like it, but I'm going to check one more place. Okay, so on Friday, there was nothing in the court circular from the royals that I talk about. And I will go one additional way to check just in case there's something else going on. Court circular. Okay, so May 1st. Again, there is a court circular entry, but it's not for any of the 5 royals I talk about. It's the Duke of Kent held an event. So that was the court circular. Overall, I tell you, I promise, this is how the weekend is going. It's going to be slow. So let's go ahead now and talk about the Danish royal family. In Denmark, this didn't even happen on Friday. It happened on Thursday, but they didn't share about it till Friday. And then, even then, I don't think it was included on their calendar entry, just so you all know. So here's my little spiel on engagement counts. So when I go through and I count all the events, I go from the royal family's official website, and for the British royal family, I go from the court circular, which is hosted on their website. They just don't update it regularly, enough at least. So when I go through and I count from there, I count what they consider their official engagements. Some royal households are better about tracking everything. Spain, Norway, the UK, those are all really good about tracking everything. Belgium is usually pretty good. Denmark, not so much. Sweden, not so much. The Netherlands is also a country that's really good, but Denmark and Sweden, not the greatest websites out there, not the best tracking. So for example, on Norway's calendar, this is all just to do with this event that we're going to talk about here for 1 second and for Crown Princess Mary. But Norway is the only royal family calendar that put the video call between the 3 Scandinavian heirs and their spouses on their website. Denmark didn't have it. Sweden didn't have it. I know it happened, but I didn't count it for Denmark and Sweden because it wasn't on their website. So this event, I think, was also not on the website. So on Thursday, but not shared until Friday, and then still not put on the official calendar. But Crown Princess Mary took part in a meeting with the Mary Foundation, an organization called Children's Terms, and another organization, Save the Child, or Children, for a group. So they all talked in a group about schools and a program called School Strength, and how those 3 organizations can all kind of come together to create strong and safe schools for children. So The Mary Foundation does a lot of like anti-bullying initiatives, and I'm not sure what the other two are. Save the Children is like an overall child wellness focused organization. So this was all held at whatever the working office palace is for Crown Princess Mary. I've talked about this before. I don't actually know what office, like what palace holds their offices. And if that changes, if they change residences, like I just genuinely don't know. So anyway, but then the rest of the weekend has been pretty quiet. I will go ahead and confirm that, as well as take a peek at the week ahead. It looks fairly quiet from what I can remember, when I checked everything, when I was going through, and looking at, oh my gosh, words are so hard today, which is great when you have a podcast. Okay, turns out I was spelling the Danish word for royal house wrong. When I was going through and doing engagement counts, it had been updated and it looked fairly busy, but let's see. So nothing, it's pretty quiet actually. There's a couple of events, but for the most part it's fairly quiet, which is fine. And then there are like some potential fun things starting in the second week of May. So that's what we have to look forward to, but for the most part, pretty chill week from Denmark. And so now we are going to move on to, let's see which family had something else. Okay, so we are going to move on to Norway. Please ignore my dog. She's having a moment. So in Norway, there were 2 events on Friday and then a very quiet weekend. So on Friday, every week, King Harald presided over the weekly Council of State. Crown Prince Haakon was also present. I think that's just kind of the new standard at this point. He's going to be at most things. And then also on Friday, after the Council of State, King Harald held an audience with a Vice Admiral of the Navy. And so this is a military audience that King Harald will hold occasionally. And so that is what that was. And so now let's take a quick peek at the week ahead. You guys, I think starting next week, if all that's happening is like the Council of State and some audiences, I don't think I'll talk about them from the Norwegian Royal House on Monday, just because like that's boring. Now sometimes there may be some other things, but you know, it just depends. So it looks like so far there's a very quiet start to the week. And then it goes pretty busy by the end of the week. So it'll be a busy few days. Norway also has their like National Day this month. So on May 17th is Norway's National Day. If the royal family are partaking in some intense celebrations, I may do like its own separate small episode or something like that, but we'll see depending on that. But that's a look ahead at the month. But then this week does, like I said, it looks pretty busy going forward, but a pretty quiet start. Like Monday, Tuesday look really quiet. So with that, let's go ahead now and move on to the Spanish royal family. in Spain, there was one event on Friday. I'm not going to go into a whole ton of detail, although I could. I think I'm going to really enjoy having some shorter episodes go up on Monday, like 20, 25 minutes versus 30, 35, sometimes 40, depending on the busyness of the day. So we're just going to like talk through things. And if there are busy weekends, of course there are going to be busy weekends occasionally. We'll talk about them. But not always. And so like weekends like this, let's keep it really chill. So on Friday, Queen Letizia presided over the 6th Educational Congress on Rare Diseases, which is a conference that is held, I don't know if it's held every year. There wasn't one last year, I know that much. But they do hold them, obviously, because this was the 6th one, and it's hosted by the Spanish Federation of Rare Diseases. And then also near the same center, I think it was actually like in the same building, there's also a school that Queen Letizia visited that supports students that have these rare diseases or rare pathologies, where they do need a little extra support in school, both to keep them safe, but also that are more catered to their individual learning styles. And so she got to visit a couple of classrooms and again, just like interact with children, which is the best. It's the best thing ever when she interacts with children. And also like when she talks to children, she talks slower. And so I can actually understand her. It's wonderful. So that is what was going on Friday. And then there was nothing going on Saturday or Sunday. Although today is Mother's Day in Spain. So that's something, but they didn't release anything or anything like that. So now let's take a quick peek at their calendar. If I'm remembering correctly, it's a pretty light week, like a grand total of maybe 5 engagements, split between King Felipe and Queen Letizia so there are 4 engagements, each have 2. And they're kind of in the middle of the week. So like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it could be interesting. It does look like, though, on, oh wait, this isn't Tuesday. It's Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday? God, is that right? No, I don't know. Anyway, the very last event for the week, is going to be something pretty important, so that'll be exciting. Okay, it's on Friday anyway. Okay, so that is what was going on in Spain. So now let's go ahead and look and finish up this podcast with the Swedish royal family. And finishing up today, we are going to talk about the Swedish royal family. So on Friday was actually King Carl Gustaf's 75th birthday. And of course, we live in a pandemic, so things are pretty scaled down. So I thought I would kind of look back at what his 70th birthday, and it was actually pretty spectacular in the way they celebrated. It was kind of a light version of what Denmark does. So there was, a gathering of a lot of royals from around the world, all came together and celebrated his 70th birthday. But of course, pandemic, so it was very scaled down. And so there were just a few events to mark the day. So first there was a very small reception for a few government representatives. I cannot emphasize enough that this was extremely small, and 4 government representatives were invited to give gifts to the king from the government and from the Swedish people. 4 people plus King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia. Very, very, very small. And then in the afternoon, there was King Carl Gustaf received like congratulations from the armed forces. This is a typical part of the Swedish birthday celebration. Crown Princess Victoria has something, it's actually on her name day, but anyway, where the armed forces present, like, say happy birthday essentially, and present the king with a gift from the military. And so he attended that. And then there were also cannon salutes throughout the country to mark his birthday, and a flyover over the castle, which was done as a surprise. So apparently no one really knew this was happening in the royal family. So that was kind of cool. And so that was what was going on Friday. Again, nothing really happened over the weekend. We'll take a quick peek at the week ahead. It's, from what I remember, kind of chill. Oh, maybe not. They've added some things now. Yeah, they've added, wow, okay, there's like, Sweden is going to keep us running, I think, this week. Which is good. It's Sweden's time to shine. So, yeah, I think Sweden is going to keep us going. There is something every day, including Saturday. That's pretty exciting. Not really, but kind of. Yeah, so Sweden is pretty much it. We'll see what the British royal family is up to. You know, they are the only ones who don't really like announce their week ahead. So they used to, but because of the pandemic, they don't, because crowds. And then I'll also check the Dutch royal household calendar. I think their middle of the week is pretty busy. There are some events that happen every year. So we'll talk we'll do some deeper dives on those for Thursday or for Tuesday and Wednesday. But overall, it's going to be fairly calm this week, it looks like, which is good. So just a little update. I know I've talked about this, but I started a new job last week, and it's going really well. And the way I've scheduled myself really allows me to put in a lot of work on this podcast as well, which is really important to me. However, it's an adjustment no matter what, like, no matter how much time I give myself, it's of course going to be an adjustment. So for this month, things are going to be pretty chill, pretty go with the flow. We're not going to do any like special things. One of these days, I promise I'll finish up with the 2 other countries that we have to talk about. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, because it looks like it's going to be really calm tomorrow. But other than that, like, I'm not going to add anything. I may do, like I said, I may do a May 17th for Norway, like a special episode focused just on that. But overall, it's going to be a pretty chill time, you know, just posting regularly on the website and Instagram. The Daily Royal is the Instagram, and thedailyroyal.com is the website, of course. And just being really like laid back, but still my hope is that you won't notice a difference, and that I'll be staying consistent. And if I'm not, I'll just be honest. Like, look, things are complicated. And so while I adjust to my new schedule and new everything, just bear with me, but this hopefully will go really well. So with all of that, please, check out all the places, thedailyroyal.com, The Daily Royal on Instagram, like and review this podcast, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great Monday. Have a great Monday.